Hello players, welcome to another wonderful game that was played between Carl Hamppe and Wilhelm Steinitz. This game was played in Vienna in 1860. Last week also we saw one of the games of Wilhelm Steinitz. As you all know, he was the first official world chess champion. If you didn't watch the last video where I showcased one of his games, I strongly recommend you to watch it later. I will attach the link in the description box. In this game, Carl used the white pieces whereas Steinitz used the black pieces. White starts the game with e4 and black responds with e5. Then knight c3 and knight c6. This opening is known as the Vienna game. Then bishop c4 and bishop c5. Then d3 and d6. Both the players have moved their pieces in a symmetrical position till now. Now knight ge2 and bishop e6. Black is now offering a bishop exchange, but white doesn't care about that. He just castles on his king side. Then knight f6 and bishop g5 and queen d7. Now white plays knight d5. Now there is a huge threat for black. If he tries something like this in order to chase the bishop away, then bishop cross knight, then pawn cross bishop and knight cross pawn, which leads to a fourth threat on the king and the queen. So black needs to eliminate this knight right away. Now there is another problem. If he accidentally captures it with this knight, then pawn captures knight will be a trouble for the bishop or this knight. As you can see, either of the pieces will be gone. Black realizes this and decides to capture this knight with this bishop. Then pawn cross bishop, now the knight comes to e7. Both these knights are attacking this pawn. So white tries to bring another support for this pawn by playing knight c3. Now bishop d4, then bishop cross f6 and g cross f6. Now knight e4, this pawn is under attack, so black moves the queen to f5, providing support for this pawn. Now white plays bishop b5 check. Usually in such scenarios, the opponent would try to block it with this pawn, but in this situation, black cannot play that move as knight cross d6 will be a check. The king has to move, then the queen will be gone. So instead of blocking it with this pawn, black played king f8. Then c3, bishop b6, a4 and a5. Bishop c4 and queen g6. Now king h1 and f5, knight d2, then f4, again the knight comes back to the same square, e4. Now f5, again the knight goes back to the same square, d2. Now h5, these pawns look very scary. Also there is an open file to create a beautiful attack. So white seems to be in a little bit of trouble. His queen is also very inactive. He tries to bring the queen out now. Queen f3. King g7 and d4. White is now trying to break this strong pawn structure, but black doesn't care about that. He plays queen g4, d cross e5 and d cross e5. Rook a e1, trying to put some pressure on this pawn. Black now defends the pawn by playing knight g6. Now bishop a2 and e4 is trying to force the queen to accept the exchange, but white doesn't want to exchange his queen here, so he plays queen h3. Now f3 and knight c4. Now knight f4. There is an attack on the queen, so he needs to accept the exchange offer. He captures the queen and h cross g4. Now there is a huge threat for white. If he captures this, then the rook will be gone. So white plans to eliminate this pawn. Now everyone would be expecting to recapture this pawn with this e pawn. If we were black, we would have done the same. But Steinitz did not recapture this. He had other plans. He plays g3. Now there is again a threat for this rook and the king if this pawn comes to the square. White cannot capture the pawn with this h pawn as the rook is behind. So he plans to capture it with this f pawn. White now thought he was in a better position than black, but he didn't know what's coming next. Steinitz had already planned a wonderful trap with the pawn move. I chose to showcase this game only for this ending. There is a winning move for black from which white cannot escape from, as it will be a forced move. Those who are interested in solving puzzles can try to pause the video and find the winning move. I hope a very few people only would have found the winning move. The stunning move is rook cross h2 check. In this situation, the king cannot move to this square as the bishop is protecting the square, and obviously he cannot come to this square as well, so he needs to capture this rook. Then rook h8 will be a wonderful checkmate. King cannot come here due to this bishop. The king cannot come here as well due to this knight. This is such a fantastic move that showcases the brilliancy of Mr. Wilhelm Steinitz. No wonder how he became the first official world chess champion. I really hope you all enjoyed this game very much. If you are watching my video for the first time, I suggest you to subscribe to my channel right now for more interesting chess games like this. I usually post such vintage games that was played hundreds of years ago. So if you would like to analyze the classic games from the past, I strongly recommend you to subscribe to my channel. If you enjoyed this game, please hit the like button. Let's meet in another battle. Thank you.